Hello everyone, Bertina Amy here, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I thought I would show you how I did DIY Dollar Tree Mommy and Me matching hair accessories. In the baby section, you can get these pink headbands with the pink flowers on them. I tried it on my almost 2-year-old daughter at the time, and it fit just fine and wasn't too tight. So I decided to use it to make my matching Mommy and Me DIY Dollar Tree headbands. So from my last project, I had leftover tulle, and I decided to use that to decorate my baby headband. And I'm just attaching it in the same manner I would a tutu skirt. I'm just folding it in half, pushing it through a hole near the flower, and then making a loop by pushing it out maybe a couple of inches until I can get my fingers through, and then pulling the tails through that loop and pulling it tight. And then I'm repeating that process around as much as I can all around the flower. And I do that until I use up almost all of the tulle that I have left. So now that I have as much of the tulle as I want attached to this headband, I decide that the length of them are just a little too long for my taste. So I decide to actually make petals with them by kind of making them fold over themselves or under themselves and gluing the ends to the attachment, if that makes sense. So I just use hot glue for this because sewing it would be a little bit harder since this is tulle. So I just go ahead and hot glue all of them all around the flower until I make my own sort of flower around this flower. Honestly, this was kind of a trial and error based on how I liked the way it was looking. I was considering leaving some of the pieces loose without making them into petals, but I just didn't like how wide that or large that was. If you think it's cute, of course, you don't have to completely follow what I'm doing. I'm just trying to give you an idea of how you can maybe amplify or embellish the basic headband. I bought these gorgeous hair clips from Temu, and I decided to use these to actually embellish the pair of shoes you see in the upper right corner. I was going for a pink and lavender themed for my daughter's birthday party, and I wanted her outfit to match that color scheme, and so I pull out the only 2 lavender dragonflies or purple dragonflies that were available because I wanted it to stand out against these shoes. Temu also sold these already made wings that I thought would make things or life much easier. So I decided to make my own dragonflies with already pre-painted mini clothespins that I had from a previous project. So I pick a pair of wings that are as close to purple as I can find, and they're kind of hard to tell because they're quite transparent. So you kind of have to look at them in certain lights. Some of them have two-tone, so I try to do my best to get matching ones for the DIY dragonflies, and I wanted 2 because she was turning 2 because I thought that would be kind of clever. I don't know if that sounds silly. Let me know in the comments below if that sounds silly, but regardless, I take one of the wings and I trace it onto this spare foam that I had because I noticed how ginormous these wings looked on these mini clothespins, and I wanted to cut them down shorter. So I start by making a template first. Since these wings were so large, I decided not only to cut them shorter, I also make them a little bit more narrow just because it just does not work with the size that it is. So much so that I even compare it to the gorgeous pre-made dragonflies. And of course, if you decide to recreate this project, you can skip the DIY dragonflies. I chose to do that because I was keeping with a certain color scheme. So this is totally optional. Of course, you could also just do the DIY dragonflies and not get the pre-made dragonflies. Totally up to you. I honestly was just concerned that maybe the pre-made dragonflies might be a little bit too heavy for being clipped onto the DIY headband, but it turns out that it works just as well. So once I cut my wing down to the correct size, or the size at least that I liked, I went ahead and just made sure I took all 2 pairs or 4 different pieces of wings, and I just cut them down to the size of the template to make sure that they were cut correctly. And these wings actually move very easily, so I had to use the clothespins, oddly enough, to keep them into place as I cut them. I wanted the wings to be more noticeable, so I took some alcohol markers to match the color of the wings but be a little bit darker, and I decided to outline the wings entirely, and I just decided to do that over top of the scrap foam sheet. And here I'm using P5 from Ohuhu's marker collection. Once all of the wings have been traced, and I need 2 for each dragonfly, I go ahead and take each wing and I just hot glue it directly onto the clothespin. I put one of the pair of wings above the dip where the wire is and one below, and then I repeat that for the other DIY dragonfly. Then once your dragonflies are done being made, go ahead and clip them anywhere along the flower as you wish, or instead, if you prefer, you could just clip it anywhere along the headband or just use it as a hair decorative piece. Say you put your kid into a ponytail and you just want to decorate with dragonflies, feel free to do that. So for my matching headband, I bought a 3-pack from Walmart, and I really wanted the lavender because I love purple. Any shade of purple is great for me. And this is the same material as the pink headband I just finished making. So from making my DIY tutu skirt for my daughter to match the dragonfly theme, I had this excess of tulle that was underneath the specialty tulle, and I decided to use this extra bits that I had to add into the decoration of this lavender headband. So of course I cut it down to 1-inch size, but they were already pre-cut because of the previous project, thinking I was going to use them. And these are the softer material than the ones that say like the ones that you buy from Dollar Tree. Those are a little stiffer, but these are softer material, more like fabric. But anyways, I go ahead and just take advantage of the attached pieces and try to fold from there or cut down those areas, and then just try to do the best I can to make the little bit I have left work. And I'm just attaching the tulle surrounding the area where the seam is so that I can make it look seamless. I think I ended up with something around 6 strands attached, but honestly the amount doesn't really matter as long as you're happy with the result. So because this tulle was a lot more flimsier, I didn't see a need to kind of make the sort of faux flower that I did with the previous one, and decided to leave it just hanging loose because I like the way that looked. Once all your scrap pieces are attached, then it's time to attach your dragonflies. I went ahead and made mine off camera, seeing that I went ahead and did that earlier and didn't want to make this video super long. So I just made mine in more of a fuchsia tone just to make sure that they popped out of my headband to be more noticeable. And I just clipped them where I saw fit. I did notice that a large hole was being created as a result of all the attachments, so I tried to cover it up with one of the dragonflies. Once your dragonflies are attached, that is it for this tutorial, and this is the end result. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.